Hey, Jen.
Hey, how are you?
I'm great. What do we have for this episode going on?
Welcome back, everyone, to Heim Time. A new episode, an exciting episode. If you tuned into our last episode where I put our guest, Lori Reed from Guaranteed Rate, on the spot, we are now going to put Shannon Heim on the spot. Pick his brain with questions that are related.
Should we change the name from Heim Time to Hot Seat? The Hot Seat with Jenn Ross.
The Hot Seat, yes. I'm here for it. Or it can be its own little segment, whatever you want to do. But, okay, so in my hand, I'm holding 12 cards.
Okay.
They have...
I have no idea prior knowledge what's going on here.
He does not, and neither does Krista. No one. This is only come out of my brain to challenge yours.
All right.
On the cards, there are pictures and words.
Okay.
And you get to, interpret said pictures / words. And when you guess...
All right.
Hopefully correctly. If not, I will guide you.
All right. That's great.
Then I will give you the question.
Just like you do a great job of guiding our clients, right?
Yes. Dun-dun-dun. That is yes, correct. Just like the teaching I used to do, it's just in my blood.
It's just in your blood.
To be a guide, yes. Actually, when I was little, I wanted to be one of those tour guides at Disneyland. So, and a stewardess on a flight attendant. Sorry, flight attendant, because I just
Let's go back to 1980 when we called them.
Okay, so yes, because in the 80s I was in school and I had to write a paper on what I wanted to be when I grew up, and it was a stewardess.
At that point.
At that moment.
All
Yes,
right.
and I believe I got an A on that. So, anyways, okay. Without further ado, Shannon Heim on the hot seat.
What do we got? All right, so I got to pick a card.
Pick a card. Any card, does not matter. We'll see what happens. This is all, once again, for our viewing audience, he has no idea. That is so funny that that's the one that you picked. He has no idea what any of these are. Okay. Interpret.
State of the market.
State of the market. Okay, that one was actually a really fun one to start with because, hey, State of the Union and all that just happened.
State of the Union.
And we're not delving into that, so no, not touching that. However, that did just happen.
It did happen.
Yep.
It is a point.
And that is and the end. State of the market. This one was an easy one for you to start with because it literally says these words. So.
That is good.
Good pick.
So, as we sit here, today is March
13th.
All right. I'm glad you know. Mid-March. State of the local market, I feel, is talking with other agents, talking with lenders that we're just picking up. We're picking up showing requests on listings. Buyers are starting to ask questions. We're hitting, in our local market here in Montgomery County and surrounding counties in Kentucky. We're starting into PCS season, which is happening around the country.
Right.
So PCS, for people that don't know, military relocates. It is a permanent change of station.
Yes.
There you go. That's what it stands for. And so I think that the market is getting stronger. Interest rates have ticked down a little bit.
They've been a little bit moody, I feel like.
They've been moody. Yeah, they've been moody over the place. But
hot and cold.
Yeah. The 20th of this month will be an interesting day because that's when the Fed meets. So Jerome Powell will come out and they meet on the 19th and 20th. So they'll have the report around what they feel is going on a national level with, inflation and all the fun, boring
that
stuff.
You love those.
I love to nerd out on that stuff.
And I enjoy hearing you tell me about them. I do, rather than tuning into it myself. So it's good. So
from a standpoint, days on the market, and if we just go Montgomery County, days on the market right now are 54 days. This is what the average is. The average price is $342,000 in Montgomery County. And about 1,900 to 2,000 square feet is the average size of the home. So,
all right, next card, hot seat.
Hot seat. Here we go.
Topic 2.
I always like going middle of the pack.
Heim Time. Oh, there we go.
Oh, a stage.
A stage.
So I interpret this as, let's talk about the Roxy.
The Roxy. What is the Roxy?
Was I right?
Yes.
Was I right?
What's the Roxy?
All right. The Roxy is
he wants to move these.
I want
He
those
does not like them.
those to go away.
All there.
The Roxy is our local theater.
Yes.
Here in Clarksville, downtown Clarksville. So they're proposing to. It's been out for a little while. They're trying to raise funds now to expand the Roxy and brand new venue there. So.
It's such a neat place. And when is that expansion supposed to start? Do we know? Or is it just proposed?
So it's proposed. They're doing funding right now. So one of the things that the local council is trying to push through is a privilege tax, or a tax on a 4% tax that will be added on to tourism.
Oh.
So
okay.
the hotels, they want to add that. So there's been some pushback from the local hoteliers, I think is how we say that. I don't know. But
Hoteliers.
Hoteliers. The local hotel owners. Where they've now they've gathered some more data so that we have 42. I didn't realize we had that many. We have 42 hotels and motels in Clarksville, or in Montgomery County, which I didn't realize there was that many.
Facts.
Fun fact,
Shannon
right?
Heim.
I was like, all right, whatever.
42. Interesting.
So it's a 4% tax that they want to impose on that, and then also Airbnbs and the the ones that are registered for that fall under the hospitality piece. So the local hotel owners are giving a little bit of pushback, rightfully so,
right.
in my opinion. Like it's part of the process. But we're spreading that out maybe a little bit more to, because they're not the only ones that are going to be. They support tourism. I want to put that out there. That's what they said. They support tourism. They support the arts, everything that goes along with that. They just don't want to be the only one that's carrying that burden of bill.
Makes sense.
And adding that on. So is there a way to spread that out to where, the restaurants?
Yeah, there you go. That makes sense.
All the other businesses that will benefit from tourism into the area with all that. But the Roxy is a beautiful rendering. I believe the last rendering I saw had a rooftop bar on it.
That's fun. Awesome.
I think is what I saw there. So
it's
just some different stuff on Franklin Street there. So
that's a fun spot, and even as it is, it's a really neat theater. I think
it is.
There is currently a show playing. You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown is happening there now, and then upcoming cabaret of award-winning musicals in April. Bach to Broadway, Shakespeare at the Roxy, Hamlet, Midsummer Night's Dream, and more. So lots happening there, right? It's been a minute since I've gone, and so I don't know. This came to mind that I just wanted to share that. Oh, SpongeBob the musical.
SpongeBob the musical, huh?
Is coming. Yeah. So lots happening. 9 to 5 the musical. So busy spring/summer happening at the Roxy, and then also the expansion at some point. But
yeah.
Even now, it's a really neat place to go to, I think so.
I think so too.
All right, next topic. You're doing great. Your brain's doing well.
My brain's doing well.
Do you feel like happy about it? Okay, here. Oh, there you go. Refunds.
I like refunds.
Okay, so this time of year
is tax season.
I'm
not a CPA, so what are we talking about here?
You are not a CPA. So not lots. Happy people are getting refunds this time of year. Not everyone. Possibly not self-employed friends.
Not present company.
Right. That is okay. Anyway, those individuals who are getting a tax refund, I was just thinking, that might be a good thing to use towards purchasing.
Absolutely.
A house. So, you want to talk about that, or how that could work, or what?
Yeah, so freeing up down payment depending on what loan type you are, right? FHA, I'm not a lender, but FHA loans are 3.5% down, right? We have closing costs, different things that are the market that we're seeing is we're moving back into more of a buyer's market where we have that 54 days of inventory on the market. So if you look at that, that's about 4 months of inventory where if not another house went on the market, it'd take 4 months for everything to sell.
Everything to sell. We just had a clearance sale, like blow them all out.
Blow them all out, and
Yeah.
they're good to go. And,
There you go.
So using that refund, there's a bunch of different programs out there. I know there's some local grants from $1,000 through Clarksville Association of Realtors that can help add on to that. There's a couple. I know one bank in particular is doing $25,000.
Yeah, Legends Bank.
Legends Bank's doing a $25,000 grant where if you stay in the house for X amount of years, that's forgiven. So just different programs, I think, that added on to that refund. There's different programs that can definitely help people move into home
Absolutely.
ownerships that maybe have been on the fence. Depending, again, going back to the interest rate conversation, right? You can
Right.
use that in conjunction to buy down some rate,
Yep.
get more affordability, that kind of stuff, and get more attainable on the housing piece.
Yeah, exactly. And when Lori was here, Lori from Guaranteed Rate, the lender, she did say it is a good time to have a conversation if you do have money that's going to come in, because it might not be the best thing, because we all think, and it's not a bad thing to think this way, but I am getting back $5,000. I'm not, but I'm getting back this money. I should
Right.
pay off this, or I should do this. Maybe strategize. If buying a home is something that you would like to do, reach out to a lender, because they can talk with you and say, hey, you've got this chunk of money. This is probably the best use. Doing this will bump your credit, or keeping it earmarked for this will let you do this. And so
Yep.
lots of options there. And we are still in a good spot. You touched on it a little bit, but builders are giving money towards things, right? Buying down interest rate, helping with closing expenses and things like that. So if that is something that you are thinking about doing, it is a good time.
Yep.
And if you have money coming in,
Yep.
even better.
Even better.
Even better. All right, next topic. Are you having fun?
I am having a blast. My mother's favorite saying when I was a kid.
Is it?
Don't put the cart before the horse.
Don't put the cart before the horse. Okay, so you could apply that to so many things
So
in
many
life.
things.
In connection to buying a house or selling a house, whichever one you want to kind of talk about. What would be examples of, in your opinion, putting the cart before the horse?
Going and looking at houses before, like you're a buyer, going and look at houses before you're pre-approved, right?
Right.
Before you walk through that process. Really just jumping into step 6 of selling a house to say, I need to sell it next week. Well, maybe we need to walk the house and see. You have a client right now. We're going to list it in 2 weeks, but she's got small projects to do in the house. So what do those projects look like for her? What does their time frame look like? So now it's just laying out her to-do list. I literally sent her an email that said to do before we list, right? And she's looking at that. So I think a lot of things that, and you can speak to this too, but I think a lot of times it's we said it earlier, right? Just sitting down and doing a strategy plan, right?
Yep.
And just going, okay, what does this look like? I met with a client the other day that I met at an open house. They're thinking about selling their home to buy something a little bit bigger.
Right.
Well, that was Saturday when we had the conversation. Monday afternoon, we sat down. His numbers were spot on. Very, very
He knew what he had,
he knew what he had. He knew where he was. He knew what the numbers were. Like everything, I think we were within his net proceeds. We were in $5,000 of each other.
Go.
So he's like, I know where I'm at. And I said, okay, now what do you want to do? And he said, well, I want to sit. And I said, great. I'm glad we had the conversation, because at the end of the day, looking at the numbers from where I know that he purchased the house to where he is now, it doesn't make sense to sell the house. It just doesn't make sense. Like, why would you move and lose X amount of dollars? Like, and that's where I think the cart before the horse is, to go, okay, people are like, okay, I want to do this, before they kind of have all the answers in the check boxes.
Right.
I think that myself included, before I got in real estate, right? It's people are just so worried. They're nervous about having those conversations with a realtor and a lender. I've never met a realtor and I've never met a lender that has tricked somebody into, had a buyer say, oh my God, you tricked me into buying this house.
Right.
No, just let's sit down and go over the numbers and not put that cart before the horse.
Yeah, I think you did a good job of talking about that, and I love that you shared about that sit down and, you started that conversation. You had that conversation. They know what they're working with. And that is something that both of us will do with anyone, right? If you are curious about what your current home might be worth, whether you bought it 3 months ago, whether you bought it 5 years ago, we can certainly help with that. And then, also I think a lot of times, because I do hear this, sellers, if we want to touch on sellers, they think they need to get done all of the to-do list. And sometimes their to-do list, to get it to where they think it needs to be, their house, is a lot more involved than probably really necessary. And of course, the market will dictate that as well.
Market of the moment dictates that, right? Dictates that.
Yeah. So again, don't feel like you can't just exactly where you are right now, reach out to a lender if you're considering buying, right? Or to an agent and both, whatever. And just let us chat with you, because this is what we do every day.
Yeah.
Rather than you put forth all of this energy and effort. I had someone tell me just recently, I just paid off my car. It's the only debt that I have. I'm just going to wait to let my credit go up because it was paid off. And then I want to get pre-approved. And I'm like, okay. And again, not a lender.
Yeah.
In my experience, though, not having any debt can sometimes
hinder
you. Absolutely amazing that you paid off your vehicle. Giant props for that. However,
absolutely.
Things like that, when in our minds, it's a great, great thing, but it may do things to your credit and to whatever. So every situation is different, of course. But rather than think you have to have it all together, reach out to us, because we will help you. This is what we do every day. So
one of my most humbling and favorite things, I'm going to say this wrong, is that when I have people text me or call me about something, the first thing that they say to me is, I'm so sorry to waste your time. I'm so sorry for bothering you on that stuff. And I'm like, you're not, this is what I do. I love to do this part. Right? And if it doesn't make sense now, then we don't. Versus the ones where going back to the gentleman that I walked his house, right? I had the conversation on Saturday, and I said, "Listen, I'm not going to pressure you. That's not what I'm here for. It's let's have the conversation and see if it makes sense. Sure, come on in." And then the next part of that was after he was done, he said, "I'm going to hold off. I'm going to be on the. I'm going to see what the market does, see what happens this year.
Sure.
All of his reasonings, right, which is valid in all of his reasonings." He's like, "There's some things personally and politically that he wants to look at," and then he's like, "It'll probably make sense in December." And I said, "Great,
cool.
So let's look at it throughout that time and stuff like that." And that's kind of how we ended the conversation there, and we'll continue our conversation. But it's the funny back to that. The funny part is like I don't mean to waste your time. I don't want to waste your time. You're never wasting our time.
Nope.
You're never wasting my time, because I'd rather have a year to figure something out. Versus
Absolutely.
like
15 minutes.
Yeah,
I got to sell in 2 days.
Yeah, it's like
okay.
What are we doing?
This is not ideal.
We gotta run. Okay. I need time to list the house. I need time to do everything I do to give you the best service and not get that cart before the horse for us.
Sure.
And that's, if you want to go back to that analogy. So
yes, and we'll touch on it too just briefly, because we did talk quite a bit about seller side, buyer side. Cart before the horse, going to see houses, you have no idea what you can afford. We're not saying that you shouldn't come see us or come see anyone at their open houses. It is very normal to want to go and see homes and to do walkthroughs and get decorating ideas and all of those things.
That's the best part of it.
I think that's honestly how come one of the reasons I became an agent, because I used to do that all the time.
You just go bother agents and run through houses?
Not bother agents, but where I'm from, there were model homes. So I love to go and walk through. I wish we had those here. But anyway.
I'm going to interrupt you. I actually like people to come out and just hang out at open houses, because I'm bored out there by myself.
Absolutely.
I need a friend to talk to today.
Right? Yep. And whether we help you and guide you and then you buy at some point, awesome, or you send your grandmother our way, or whatever that looks like, certainly come chat with us. We're not saying don't go out at all, or don't feel like you must
get those
talk
ideas,
to a lender. Certainly not saying that, but falling in love with a house, like, oh, I need to put an offer on this one. It can be a little bit heartbreaking, because you may not have an idea of what those numbers are going to look like, what you're able to be approved for. But we can help with all of that too, get you connected with a lender and figure all that out. But come see us, for sure. All right, next topic. You're doing wonderfully. I have no idea how long we've been talking, but hopefully we are not taking 7 years.
Krista will keep us on track.
I know she will. Oh, this is a good one. Oh, I just...
Daylight savings time.
Daylight savings time.
Did I get it right?
You did.
Oh my goodness. Look at me, man.
I know.
I need to do more Pictionary.
Yes. You know, I did consider us drawing, and then I remembered your drawings. And this is the route that I went. I'm also not the best at
this is a better
yes.
alternative.
Okay, so we just had daylight savings time this past Sunday. Springing forward. There are certain things that...
I was confused all day Sunday, by the way. Like half the day on Sunday, I'm like...
I don't know what happened. It was like, I know it's only an hour, but boy, it seemed like my whole day went so fast.
Yeah.
All of that said.
Monday night I was at Andrew's hockey. And it was like, there's two other dads sitting there, and we're just kind of like this, and I'm like... Is everyone else dragging today? Right. And they're like, yeah. Like, everybody was just like, I'm tired. I'm ready to go to bed. It was like 5 o'clock at night. That was weird. Yeah, like I spent, because, we're always basically on call, right? And so usually about 8-ish, I'm trying to like wrap my world down for the night and whatever, but still be available, all that. But anyway, it was about 7, and I went to my bed. I was like, I will be available here, like, and just watching my phone. And my new office is here.
Yes, and I was like, I am so tired. But anyway, okay, daylight savings time. Ironically, I thought this was funny, and this is also why this came to my brain. The night of daylight savings change, one of our smoke detectors started to beep at 2 a.m.
Like they always do.
Like they do. And so it prompted me, because we are supposed to, what all should do, the law of the land is, when time
changes
happen, you're supposed to replace all your batteries.
Even if they are tied in all together. A lot of people think, and including me, I thought that the batteries didn't die, but they do.
Even if you have hardwired, which means tied into your electrical panel, you still need to change the batteries. So, and it is recommended. And batteries are not cheap, and also they're supposed to last 10 years.
And some are 9-volt and some are AA.
Correct. And I have both types.
So I keep both. I keep both in my house.
Of course I do. I know I have this bucket of batteries.
Yeah, we got a bucket too.
Yeah. And then I have college-aged children who go on the ladder and handle this, and I hand them the batteries because... So
the one to look at is if you're in a home that has a like a 2-story like a tall ceiling vaulted ceiling. There we go. That's the one I was looking for. Outside, and the primary is on the main level.
Yes.
There has to be a smoke detector outside of that, and it's usually 18 to 24 feet up. So you might not have a ladder at 2 a.m. to get that down. And
do you recommend doing what? Because this happened to you. I remember this story.
Find a handyman that has an extension ladder.
That is not what you did.
That's not what I did. I stood on a 10-foot ladder with a rake, and I literally just yanked it down, and now there's just wires hanging on my ceiling that one alone. But so I have one less battery I need to buy for my smoke detector. But.
All right, and also really for safety reasons, you should work on that. You should get that handled. I'm saying this, and also going to tell you, outside of my primary bedroom, there are also wires hanging because it was the middle of the night. It's not even high, but it was that combo carbon monoxide / smoke detector, and that one, I do not understand it, and we did all the things.
I think that's what I have too, because I think that's code that has to be.
There's like 2 of them in our house.
Yeah, you have to have one on each level.
Yeah, and anyway. This is your reminder to
change your batteries.
Your smoke detector batteries out, and also anything else that is good this time of year.
Well, you got your spring stuff, so open your vents
what are your spring stuff? Okay, your crawl space
vents, so you should have closed them during the winter, so you should open those back up so airflow can flow in there.
And I think there are different mindsets surrounding that. In fact, this brings me to a thing that we should do, and Krista, make note of this. We should have home inspectors come hang out with us in podcast land, because I have heard that you're supposed to just leave them closed year round.
I could go into my speech, but yes, there's different theories on that.
I've heard this from a respected inspector that your clients have used often.
Yeah, so. The idea of opening them up is airflow under there, so you don't get mold under there. But there's also...
But mold grows with oxygen.
But you get airflow there,
Is
so
that
as long
a
as it's
true
warm.
statement? I said that with such conviction,
You
but
did say that.
I think that is true.
Moisture will make mold grow, not
But
oxygen.
can it-
Oxygen is what we breathe in the air. That's what
I
we
am
breathe
aware of what
to keep us
oxygen
alive. So that's oxygen.
We will fact check that statement because
What,
I
that
feel like
oxygen makes you breathe?
we're very sure on that.
I am 100%
This just
sure on
in.
that.
No,
Jesus.
we're fact checking the air and mold growth.
Sure, crawl space stuff. All right.
Crawl
good.
space stuff.
Yeah, encapsulating a crawl space is one thing. We're actually encapsulated year round and stuff
And
like
that
that.
is
So
for fancy. You don't.
I think it's a great thing to do. It's an
Is
expense.
your crawl space encapsulated?
Nope.
Okay.
And I think it's a great thing to have. It's a
Based on my limited knowledge, but I do have previous experience and connections to crawl space professionals. You're not supposed to do that. I mean, like you don't have to do that.
you don't have to.
There's just certain
I think
situations
the
that you
vents
should.
are good, and there's other things. Anyway,
You can get it dehumidified. There's options.
all right. Well, that wraps up first part of our pick Shannon's brain.
Yes, Shannon's on the hot seat. Heim Time.
Hot seat
Special.
Hot seat. Hot seat with Jenn Ross.
Okay. Yes, I can go. We can. That's fine. That's fine. I'm on
Let's
board
start
with that. Yes, we have spoken for a long amount of time while talking through these topics, and yet we have so many more. So
Join us for part 2.
join us for part 2. We appreciate if you will.
Like, subscribe, share on all our socials.
Yes.
See you next time.
Love for you to reach out. Have the best day.